Hello, my name's Sue. I work at Wisbeach Library, and as Father's Day will be coming up towards the end of June, I thought I'd give you some ideas on a Father's Day card. I mean, you can do absolutely anything, but I've come up with a few ideas which I thought I'd share with you. So you're going to need lots of coloured papers, different colours, different textures. I've got some like this here. I found a pad of papers that I had in my craft box, which has got all different patterns that you can see there. Textured paper, coloured card, anything you can lay your hands on that you might have in your craft bits at home. That's the first thing. Obviously glue and scissors and a pencil to draw some shapes. You might have some feathers or pom-poms, stickers. You can always use stickers as well. Add that decorative touch. Now the main way that I've made my cards, this one for example, I've just layered different shapes. I cut out lots of circles in this case, and I've layered them in a pattern. So this is what I'm going to show you how to do today. So here we are. I've got all my shapes ready in little pots. So I have actually got a cutter that I use, but you can just draw around circles, find something that's the right size, draw around, and then cut out as many as you're going to need. So I've got some squares if you want to do squares. I've got circles for circles, triangles, whatever shape you fancy. So you get your shapes lined up. I've actually got some in this box here. I did some bigger ones in a textured design like this. So what you can do is you can layer up your shapes to add more of a decorative feature. So the first thing I did was to get a piece of card, and just A4 card this is, but any size, doesn't matter, and then just fold it in half like this. Let's just put those out of the way. So that's your card. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start off by adding a background paper like this. You get your glue and just, don't need too much, it's just to hold it in place. And then put that down on your card. So it looks like this. I then use my cutouts here. What you do, you can just start to layer them in any pattern. So I've got some in the same paper as this. If you don't want to use those, you just use a contrast colour, and then you start layering up your different circles. I'll stick a few on just to show you. So on there. And if you were using squares and triangles, you just do the same. It just gives a nice effect. You can go do as many as you want. Just do one row, do 2 or 3, and then just keep adding and adding until you get the effect that you want. Just a little bit of glue. You don't need too much. What shall I do? Oh, I've got a checkered one there. Let's put that one in. That's a bit different. And then just carry on like that. So you just keep going until you've got a nice band of different colours at the bottom there. Now the next thing we want to do is you can write Happy Father's Day. What I've done here is I've gone onto the computer, found a font that I liked and printed it off like this. But you could cut out letters from magazines like this. So we've got an A here, which you could then put on a background and then stick that onto the card. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to stick another piece of paper across the top here. It's just to give the layered design, which looks rather nice. Pop that on there. So I'm not doing it exactly, I'm doing it slightly above. So what you can do then is with your cutouts is just keep layering them up until they meet the line of this one. And then I've used I had a piece of thin paper, but you could use tissue paper, and put a line of glue, and put my tissue paper on there, like that. And then I'm going to put my Happy Father's Day on top of that, like that. So you just keep layering and layering until you end up with this sort of effect. I had some sticky edging that I've used here. I've used felt that I had, like this here. I had some felt, so I cut out circles for that and layered it up. You could cut out, what's another one that I've done here? I put the square on as I started with the other one, and then I did a slightly different font on the computer for Happy Father's Day. And I put strips down the side of this one. And I've had some pom-poms. I stuck a pom-pom in there. Once you've done the front, then you can turn your attention to the inside. I did a bigger Happy Father's Day. I put a lined piece of paper on again, like this. And then you can write your message to your dads, like that. That's another suggestion. One more suggestion that I've got here is I found a rosette design here, which I cut out. And then I cut out a rosette. I had some of that foam that you can buy, but you could do it in card, you could do it in felt. Then you stick your centerpiece on here, and you can write, again, you can write it yourself as I've done it there, or you could cut out letters. I've been cutting out pieces from magazines. I keep them all to one side because you never know, and then you can just cut out letters to make up a sign. So I've got an H there, so you could do it, but as it was small, I wrote that myself. And then inside, I found this on the computer. That's another suggestion. But really, you can, there's all sorts of things you can do. If you've just got enough different cards, enough lettering and some glue, you can make yourselves some lovely Father's Day cards. So why don't you give it a go? And your dads will love it, I'm sure. Okay, bye-bye.